Most of my work is site-specific work that looks at a history of a site and looks at the ways that people have engaged with that site and reflects on, I guess, some of the contemporary ways that people continue to use those sites. The Garden Palace was built by James Barnett, who was a colonial architect, and it was built here on the site on the Botanical Gardens on Macquarie Street. The Garden Palace was really about the way Sydney and the way Australia could show itself to the world. So there was a huge amount of produce on display that Australia became very well known for. The whole tone of the exhibition was really around promoting the idea of progress. But backdropped against all this was the way that Aboriginal culture was positioned. One of the major displays in the Garden Palace was the Ethnographic Courts, which promoted the idea that Aboriginal people were not engaged in cultural activity, Aboriginal people were not using the land in a very meaningful way, and essentially, if you were to look at the list of objects, it was just men's weapons. So promoting this idea that Aboriginal people were just engaged in constant warfare. The removal of Aboriginal people was kind of justified through exhibitions like this. Only 3 years after it was built, it was burnt. The entire contents of the building was destroyed. I became aware of the Garden Palace mainly by going into museums and trying to find material from where my family's from. So my granddad's Wiradjuri and Kamilaroi, from central New South Wales, and trying to research where my granddad was from and find objects from those cultural groups is extraordinarily difficult, mainly because all of those objects that were at the Australian Museum and other objects collected on the frontier at that time from New South Wales were in the Garden Palace and destroyed as part of the fire. The site is the traditional homelands of the Gadigal people, who are one of 29 clans of the Eora Nation that make up the traditional owners of Sydney. Barrangal dyara is Eora and it means skin and bones, and it really refers to this project and the attempt to pull off the layers of history that sit on this site to start revealing some of the bones that sit beneath the surface.